Hi everyone, welcome back to another Make Up My Mind video. Today we're going to be talking about a foundation that was recommended to me by a couple of the Make Up My Mind followers over on Facebook. We had a conversation about it during the week and I decided to go pick one up, so I did. This is the Revlon Colorstay Foundation and this is for combination to oily skin. There are two versions of this foundation. There's one for combination to oily and there's one for combination to dry. If you have dry skin, this is not going to be the best for you. It might settle in dry patches that you have because it sets once you put it on. If you have dry skin, definitely go for the combination dry. It's going to be a lot more nourishing and a lot more hydrating for your skin. So this is for combination to oily, but it also works very well for very oily skin. This comes in a great 13 shades. So there's a good shade range there, and this is number 110 Ivory, and this is pale enough for my skin, which is just a reason to buy it alone just there. It's hard for me to find foundations that are pale enough for my skin, and Lord knows I have tried enough of them. So this is great that I can just apply this myself and not have to blend it right down onto my neck or add any white foundation to it. So that's a real bonus. Another bonus about this is that it is an SPF of 15. So as a pale girl, I like to keep my skin covered in SPF all hours of the day and night, summer and winter, because I burn very easily, but also because the sun will give you wrinkles. And I spend enough money on anti-wrinkle care that I don't need something as every day as the sun just messing it all up. It does have an SPF of 15, which is great. The higher the SPF in a foundation, and this is only something I learned quite recently, the higher an SPF, the more flashback you are going to have on a night out. So if you're going on a night out and you know someone's going to be there and they're like, oh, we're going to take loads of pictures, and you know there's going to be a lot of flash, go for something with a lower SPF because you're not going to get that real ghostly white face that sometimes comes out in pictures. So if there's a lot of flash, go for a lower SPF. But if you're just going out during the day, wear some SPF. It's so important. This is gorgeous. I absolutely love this. I would find this to be a dupe for double wear foundation. Now, I love double wear. It's absolute concrete on the skin. It's brilliant. But at like 34, 35 euro for a bottle, it does not come cheap. So this is a great high street buy. This is 17 euro and 99 cents, and I got this in Boots. You can get it on the Boots website. You can get it in Debenhams, I believe they have a Revlon counter, or any pharmacy that has a Revlon counter. And this is great for me for everyday wear because I like to go into work. I'm in work for 8 hours. I'm on the phone. I'm touching my face. I have oily patches as well. So I want something that has some resemblance to what I've applied in the morning. And a lot of foundations, while they are great and they look great for the first few hours, because of my oily T-zone and my chin and around my nose, can often slide off during the day. And because of that, some of my foundations just don't look anyway good when it comes to 5 o'clock. So this is great for lasting during the day. I know it says 24 hours on it, but I will never wear a foundation for 24 hours because that would mean that I'm sleeping in it, and that is a no-no. No sleeping in the makeup. Love coming home, just cleansing my face and having, you know, some nice fresh skin that you can just leave breathe for a few hours before I go and put all my nighttime products on it. But this really does last for my whole working day. Around my nose will always, around the edges of my nose here, will always fade because summer or winter I will have a problem with my nose. In the winter I get colds and flu, and then in the summer I get hay fever. So I will always have a tissue up to my nose, so I don't expect it to last there because I'm at it all day. But by about noon, usually I would have a very oily patch here, and if I just have a dewier foundation it will come through. But with this, it comes through the tiniest hint, but you can just pop on a little bit of powder or blotting sheet and it will get rid of that perfectly, and you will be back to a great face of makeup. And then by 5 o'clock it's looking probably about 70 to 80% as good as what you put on in the morning. So I really like that. This is a thicker foundation, so I found that I applied it during the week with a flat foundation brush, but I found it kind of hard to spread with that kind of brush. The best way I find to apply this is with the damp Beauty Blender sponge. I got my Real Techniques one during the week and they are brilliant. They're absolutely fabulous. But it just means that you can apply a nice thin layer by bouncing this sponge over your skin, and then if you have any extra coverage needed in certain areas, like I have pigmentation on my cheeks and on my chin, you can just go back over and just dab some on. You wouldn't even need concealer with this. This is so high coverage, but I do like to add a bit of concealer just out of habit or out of self-consciousness, I'm not too sure. So the concealer that I used with this is the Catrice Liquid Camouflage High Coverage Concealer. Yeah, High Coverage Concealer. This is brilliant. Oh my goodness, I picked this up in Limerick during the week in the pennies, and it's just absolutely fabulous. I have a post on just this alone. It's great. So yeah, I'm really digging this. I'm glad I bought it. The one gripe that I would have with this particular bottle, this bottle is glass, so be careful, because in case you drop it, it'll go smashy smashy. But as you can see there is zero pump on this bottle. It's just an open top glass bottle. So if you drop this, first of all, it's going to smash. But because there's no pump, you're either having to tip it out onto your hand, or you're having to put your finger over the top and get out a little bit and, you know, come back and put it on. So be careful with that, because a lot can come out in the one go. But because it's also, if you tip it out that way, but because it's runny, if you put your finger, it's not runny, oh my goodness, because it's not runny, because it's a higher coverage foundation, when you tip it over, you might have to give it a few shakes just to get something on your finger, which you can then put on the back of your hand and blend out onto your face. That's kind of a gripe. But what you can do is you can always tip the contents of this into an old foundation bottle that you have, or you can try and find, you know, an old bottle that has a pump that would fit. So that's, you know, it's not that much of a problem for me, but for some people they might not like it. This is, again, like I said, it's €17.99 in Boots. Because this is a thick coverage foundation, my personal recommendation is to double cleanse in the evening. My nighttime routine is cleanse, tone, moisturize, but I would find that I have to double cleanse with this just to make sure that I'm getting every bit of it off, because if you put it on with a beauty blender and you're bouncing it on your skin, you're really working it down into your skin, and that's one of the keys to kind of keeping it on during the day. But that can mean that you need to give it a good cleanse and then another good cleanse to get it off at night. But overall, I think this is really great value for money. I'm definitely going to be buying another bottle because I am loving this bottle at the moment. And right now it's that transitional period between that fabulously bronze, you know, luminous look of summer and that real matte look that comes in the winter. So this is great. This is really great. And then if you wanted to keep that little bit of dewiness, if you didn't want it to look too flat, the Boots Botanics Radiance Balm at the moment is still €4 down there. Just, it's like a highlighter. Just add a little bit to the tops of your cheeks and down your nose and on your cupid's bow, and it gives that little bit of luminosity that a lot of people can find missing when they have a full coverage foundation. So this is absolutely a make up my mind recommendation. I have a feeling that I won't be without a bottle of this again. So I hope you enjoy it. If any of you have picked this up and have any thoughts about it, let me know in the comments. I'd really love to hear your thoughts on it, and if there's any other foundations or products that you think I need to keep my eye out for next, or really do a review on, or just get in my makeup bag. So have a great weekend, guys. You can pick this up if you want, and enjoy. Bye.